Welcome, and warm welcome to all of you, and to being here together for our meditation. And the general idea of mindfulness meditation is, or the underlying kind of practice or direction or attitude is that of being simple. Being simple with the instructions, being simple with the practice moment by moment. And the simplest way of describing that is just to know what's happening as it's happening. But the Buddhist path has two primary components of this kind of using our mental attention, our minds, in practice. One is to relax, or as it gets more deeper in practice, to let go. To let go and then to know. But because it's difficult to just sit down and let go, the first is to be here. Really be here in the simplicity of this moment. Relax, let go, and know. So, and then you do it again. Here, relax, and know what's happening. Very simply. Know it without any reactivity, without any interpretations, without any story. Just know the simplicity of this moment. To relax is to relax in the simplest way that's available. To not have ambitions, not strain to relax what we can. To let go of what's appropriate. The meaning of letting go in the teachings of the Buddha is, the primary orientation around it, is to not let go of things, but to let go of our clinging to things, our grasping to things, ideas, identities, desires. And here, just here, nowhere else. So maybe that can be the rhythm or the practice, if you'd like, for this meditation. And you can say to yourself this sequence: here to what's this here? What's here for you? In the simplest possible way of recognizing that, just here. Letting go, relaxing, maybe relaxing first, later letting go. Maybe letting go first, then relaxing. And then recognizing what's here. Recognizing that we're in our bodies. Here in our bodies. Recognizing the breathing in the body. Here with the breathing. Relaxing with the breathing. Recognizing there's inhales and exhales. Here with the inhales and exhales, recognizing some of the sensations that come in with the inhale, some of the sensations that come with the exhale. Letting go of stories around breathing, what's supposed to happen around breathing, and then just recognize what's here. Maybe recognizing the breathing more fully, or recognizing the pleasure of having let go of stories and expectations, agendas. And then here. And whatever's here, it's easy and obvious, that's here and now in the simplicity of this moment. And as we to go through these cycles of hear, relax, know. Perhaps it's a movement of becoming simpler and simpler with what's here. Less story, less future, less past, less interpretations, less reactivity. A contentment to just be here with this experience. So, taking a posture that you think is suitable for you, to be both alert and maintaining some physical presence, alertness, stability, to let go deeply while the body is aligned. If you're sitting upright, aligned in an upright posture, it doesn't collapse. And then to let your gaze be relaxed, maybe gazing down at about 45 degrees, relaxing around the eyes, not looking at anything in particular, soft gaze, and then gently closing your eyes, taking a few long, slow, deep breaths to become established here, just here. And then to let your breathing return to normal. And I'll go through this three-part sequence for a little bit, and you can follow along. So very simply, recognize what's here experientially in the present moment for you. It's more like just be here with it. Here you are. And then as you exhale, perhaps you can relax. Let go. And then know what's here. Very simple, maybe a one-word recognition. And then again, here. Maybe given what you have known, be here with this. Be here with your experience. As you exhale, relax, let go. And then know, recognize what is here. Recognize what is obvious. That's simple and obvious to know. Here in your experience. Not elsewhere. Not other places and times. Not about anything different than what's experienced here. And then here, be here with whatever's close in. Whatever the experience is that's centered here. Relax. Let go of any holding, tightening. And having let go and relaxed, know something about this present experience that stands out. No need to search, just what comes. And then here, relax. And know. And then as you do this relaxing and knowing, perhaps you're settling in more and more into your experience here in your body, your breathing. Here, relax and know at whatever rhythm you want, whatever pace. And as you get settled, if you want to drop one of the three, and then two of the three, and then all three, drop them in order. Drop here, drop relaxing, and only if you're very, very still, So, continuing on this theme of the karmic stream and the dharmic stream, and the karmic stream, the karmic momentum of our lives, and how karma is shaped, how action shapes our ongoing experience. I keep wanting to refer you back to how you can know this for yourself directly, so it's not a metaphysical idea or abstract idea about imaginary futures or pasts, that you can actually watch it work in your mind, in your body, here and now, if we pay careful attention. And it's one of the primary principles that often comes along with this karma teachings about actions that have ongoing repercussions in our lives, actions which condition us or influence us ongoingly in a way sometimes that we don't understand why we're so compelled to act and be certain ways. So the way that our actions condition us, influence us, or lays traces within us, imprints things within us, is based on a very simple principle that in order to make this very simple, I'll do it in 2 steps. The first step is it's based on the notion that we can know what brings with it an ouch and what brings with it an ah. And I use those little expressions so that we don't get narrowed down by words that might express that. So for example, we have the idea of good karma and bad karma. And as soon as we say it that way, which is a common enough expression, it narrows it, it can be confusing, it can be imply morality, all kinds of things are kind of come along with that. But maybe it's very simple just to recognize experientially that some things we do, as we do them, as part of it, is ouch. And some things we do has an ah. And so that's the first principle. The second one is that those things which are propelled by or conditioned by or come along with an ouch, they tend to produce more ouches. Those things which are compelled by or pushed along by an ah, they produce more of the same, ah. And this is not the same thing as comfort and discomfort, but something deeper, a sense of the Buddhists like to call suffering or happiness. But the key thing here is that what propels it, what is the motivating force, what's the atmosphere or the condition which something is done. If we say something, do something, or even think something, and what's propelling it is some feeling inside, some motivation inside, something inside which in and of itself just feels like, if you're really careful and pay attention to it, we feel, oh, that hurts, that's ouch. Or we can feel that it's that's good, that feels right. And so karma is, when things are acted on from that kind of compulsion or propulsion, then they tend to produce more. And you can watch that in your mind with your thoughts. If there are thoughts that are being propelled by our anger and our